Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's EALA webinar, Exploring the EALAverse, a deep dive into the Educating All Learners Alliance. Today, you are going to be watching part 4, Making the Most Out of EALA's Resource Library. Before we get started looking into our resource library, I want to give you a little bit more of background on what EALA is. EALA, or the Educating All Learners Alliance, was created in March 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic when virtual learning was sweeping the nation. EALA came together and was joined with several other nonprofit organizations in order to best support principals, admin, parents, caregivers, teachers of students with learning disabilities and learning differences. So what started out as a small group of organizations, resource sharing and providing tools to those in need has turned into an uncommon coalition of now over 140 organizations. We now have over 1,000 resources in our resource library that are catered to several different audiences, and we'll get into that in a little bit. We now have different initiatives that we take part in across the country with different educators and nonprofit organizations. And we also host different podcasts and webinars. So like I said, today we are going to be looking at our resource library. My name is Jackie Keenan. I am your presenter for today. I am EALA's content lead. If you ever have any resources or any questions, you can reach me at jackie@innovateedunyc.org. How to make the most out of EALA's resource library. So what we are going to do first is head over to the educatingalllearners.org website. And when you get there, I will show you how to get to this page. So if you want to go ahead and put this into your browser, you can. And if you just want to listen or watch along, you can do that as well. Okay, so I am at the educatingalllearners.org website. Once you're at our homepage, you're going to notice that there are a few different options at our header. This is our homepage where we have our accessibility statement. We also have a few different statistics and then a little bit about, how EALA came to be. We have resources, initiatives, events, and then about EALA. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the resource library since that is what our focus is on for today. When you come to our resource library, you'll immediately see that there is a search bar. You have the option to view all of our resources, and then you can also submit a resource, and I will get to that later on. So we have a few different types of resources showcased. First, we have our 5 most popular resources at the top. And then if you go down a little bit more, you'll see 5 different EALA team picks. So these are selected by EALA staff. And then as we go down further, you have the option to browse specific categories. So we have several different categories you can choose from. And then again, down here, the 2 buttons that were up at the top, view all resources and submit a resource. So I am going to pretend, well, I guess not really pretend. I used to be a special education teacher. So I'm going to pretend that I am a special education teacher again, and I need some help with my UDL. My universal design lesson planning could use a little bit help. I'm trying to target more students in my teaching. So you can type in just the acronym UDL. You could also type in the full word, Universal Design for Learning. And I immediately have several different resources that pop up. So I am a teacher and I'm looking for some help with my math lessons. I'm noticing that they are not as accessible to all of my students. Some kids are really struggling and I need to, work on that. So if you click on either the photo or you can click on the title of the lesson plan, it will bring you to a short little description of what is inside this resource. And then if you click go to resource, it'll bring us over to the resource, the original website where the resource was posted. So all of our resources come from various different websites, various different authors, and we always link it back to directly, wherever we found the resource. Okay, so that is an example if you're a teacher and you are trying to create more of a universal designed lesson. Say you are a parent and your child is having some challenges when it comes to reading. If you type in the word read, you'll immediately see some resources are popping up. But you'll notice that the first one isn't exactly something that's going to help with reading. So you can, one, filter that out in your mind and say, that's not really something I'm interested in, but there are all these other great resources. Or you can just add a little bit more onto that and put the word reading in. And immediately you will see different resources. But here it has classroom reading groups. Now, as a parent or a caregiver, I might not need to know about that. That might not be the most relevant resource for me. So I'm going to go over to my audience and I'm going to click on parents and families. And immediately the resources begin to get more specific. So we've got supporting children's reading at home. Again, so this looks like it is a series of supporting children's reading at home. Practice for understanding, blending, so learning how to read, and then linking sounds to letters. Again, more learning how to read. Okay. So as we go through, you'll see there are several different resources, but I have a teenager that is struggling with reading. So I'm going to go over here and go to secondary. And again, the resources begin to become more specific. How can I help my teen with their reading skills in different subjects? So these different filters on the side are extremely helpful in order to make the most out of our library and to get exactly what you need out of it. So now I'm going to change my lens, and I am a district leader or a principal that has so much data and I just don't know what to do with it. I'm not really sure what is going to be the most effective way for me to use certain types of data. So I'm going to go ahead and type in the word data. And again, I want it to be specific to me. There are some great resources popping up already, but I want to put in district leader and I want to put in school leader to see what I can get. So we've got a podcast, we've got a case study. So case studies are a deeper look at a specific instance where data is used to close the achievement gap. And then podcast, this is a 5 minutes width. So this is going to be about 5 minutes. And you can listen to this, say you're really busy and you don't have time to sit and read an entire case study. You can come over here and specify your resource type. So say you'd prefer to listen to something, you can go to podcast and you'll see the different podcasts on data or that are related to data. If we go down and you want to watch or listen to a video, you can also do that as well. So these little filters on the side are extremely helpful when it comes to curating exactly what you are interested in. So if we go down, we've got different topics. And these numbers on the side tell you how many there are for each topic. And these numbers are low because I still have data in there. So if you are interested in overall, I've just cleared our search bar so then you can see the specific resources in different categories that we have. You can also filter through our resource library by disability. So if you have a child or a student in your classroom that has a hearing impairment or is dyslexic, math disability, maybe they have dyscalculia, you can go over here and you can filter through that way as well. And then down here, as I mentioned before, we have different resource types. And then if you click down to themes, there are several different themes that you can also filter through. So we have so many resources. So these filters are extremely helpful in making sure that you are getting the most out of our website. I'm going to go back to our resource library and I'm going to click on View All Resources. And that brings you back to where we were. I just want to show you that because initially to get there, I had clicked the search bar. So if you click the search bar and type something in, or if you click View All Resources, it'll give you that same page. You just need to keep in mind that the The resources that you are seeing when you utilize the search bar are going to be through the lens of whatever you typed into the search bar. And then when we come over here, submit a resource. This can be for anyone. If you are a parent, if you're a teacher, an administrator, a nonprofit organization, an author, anyone that happens to be stumbling across our page that says, you know, hey, I have this really awesome resource that I think would be helpful for all learners. You can come on over here and fill out this form, first name, last name, your email address. I'm going to give you an example, and I'm going to go back to the UDL math lesson that we used earlier. And I am going to go ahead and take the title of this lesson and put it in resource title. I'm going to go back and figure out who wrote this resource, Katie Novak. So I will go ahead and give her the credit right here. I'm going to credit the organization, which is Novak Education. And then if you have a school or a district you're associated, maybe you are a caregiver and you want to write your child's school district, that's fine. If you're a teacher and you want to write the district that you teach in, that's fine as well. If you would prefer not to share, you can just put not applicable. And also if you do not have a resource, a district that you belong to currently, you can also just put not applicable. Resource description is just give us a sentence about what the resource is about. So I would put universally designed math lessons. Short. And then link to the website. So this is a website, so I can put in, obviously, the website link. But if you have a PDF or a file on your computer that you would like to share with us that is not on a website, you can go ahead and click choose file and upload it that way. Once you've put your resource file, if you have that, you can go down to resource image and put whichever image you would prefer to be associated with the resource you're uploading. And then last one is just consent, that you consent to us posting this resource on our library. So that is how you submit a resource. You can also submit a resource by emailing me, which I will get into in just a few minutes. So that is a deep dive into our resource library. Like I said, there are over 1,000 resources. You just need to know how to maneuver it to make the most out of it. So thank you so much for joining me today. I had a lot of fun going through our resource library with you. If you would like to stay in touch with us on LinkedIn or Twitter, you can follow us at educateall_org. You can also visit our website at educatingalllearners.org. And on our website, you can also subscribe to our newsletter if that is something you're interested in. We send out a bi-weekly newsletter that has different resources that we're posting, podcasts, webinars, whatever our partners are doing, grants, scholarships, things of that nature. So if you're interested in our newsletter, let me just quickly bounce over and show you how to subscribe to that. So we'll go to the home page, and then we'll go down to the bottom, and you'll see get the latest updates, events, and resources from the Educating All Learners Alliance. And this is how you can get our newsletter if you're interested. And then if you would like to share a resource, like I had mentioned earlier, you can email me at resources@educatingalllearners.org. On behalf of EALA, I'd like to thank you again for joining me today for Exploring the EALAverse, a deep dive into the Educating All Learners Alliance Part 4, how to make the most of EALA's resource library. Again, thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.